Hi, I'm Andy from Riedel, and in this video we're going to be talking to you about the StageLink boxes. Now, if you have anything at all to do with audio, you will be aware that our ears and our mouths are actually analog devices. However, we live in a digital world, and using digital audio does have a lot of advantages. It's much more easy to transport, it's much easier to store, and all of our systems today typically use digital audio. Now, if we're using digital audio, one of the most advantageous ways to move it around is over a data network. Now, if you are watching this digital video on a digital computer via the internet, then I'm sure you're aware that if you take your laptop, you have it connected to your home Wi-Fi, and you want to search for something. You can type in the address of your search engine in your web browser, and your computer will be connected to the server of that search engine. So you have a connection between your laptop in your house and the server, which is sitting in a data center in some city in some country. If you decide you actually want to make a purchase, then you can type in the web address into your browser of your favorite South American rainforest-based retailer, where you can then visit their website, which is hosted on a different server in a different city, maybe even in a different country, and then you can make that transaction. And you don't even think about switching Wi-Fi networks in order to connect from one server or to a different server. It's just, you type in the web address and it connects. Now, for us, it's instinctive that that all happens across the internet. But if we're working on a local area network, so a smaller kind of setup, we can actually do exactly the same kind of thing with audio. We can have a source which is available on the network, and then with a couple of clicks or taps, you can send that source to this destination or this destination. And there's no need to recable it. All you're doing is switching it using software instead of hardware. Now, audio engineers love playing with audio and adding in effects and adding in extra sounds and shaping the sound to make it sound as good as possible. Typically, audio engineers don't especially enjoy plugging in and unplugging cables all day long. So by having things set up on the network, you can have all of the audio sources available, and then you can just get rid of all the big patch bays where you'd be physically using cables to link sources into destinations. So if we want to take source A and route it to destination B, then we just do it. And we don't need to unplug a cable if we want to take this source A and connect it to destination C. Now, what we're doing with StageLink is we're creating a small modular system. Now, this means you're not stuck with 32 channels when actually you only need 4. And it also means that if we want to build up a system, then we just add in lots of different modules. It also gives us more redundancy. If we have a big 32 channel patch bay or interface, and the network cable for that were to become disconnected for whatever reason, you've lost 32 channels. However, in the case of the StageLink boxes, on the first case, we have redundant network connections, so even if you cut through a cable, it will carry on working. But even if some malevolent actor came along and cut through 2 different network cables independently, then you would only be losing a couple of channels and not your entire audio production. Now, depending on the situation, there are a couple of different boxes because you might need more inputs, you might need more outputs. We have the NSA 007, which allows you to really bond everything together. You have a couple of inputs, a couple of outputs, and it's a symmetric, balanced list of ins and outs. We also have the NSA 3, which will allow you to link into 2-wire intercom systems if you're still back in the Stone Ages. We also have the ability to pull signals in. So let's say you're running a stadium production, maybe it's a live sports event, and you have ambient mics up in the roof of the stadium. You can put an NSA 4 up there to plug those microphones in, bring those signals into your network, and then they're available to be routed to whichever mixing console you're using. Maybe you have an amp rack or an in-ear monitor transmission station and you want to get the audio signals to there. You can use the NSA 5 that has 4 output channels. Maybe you have a workstation or a commentary booth where you need a set of headphones, 1 microphone, and maybe a pair of loudspeakers. You can use the NSA 6. There are also some situations where you're going to be wanting to add in GPIs to your system. And for that kind of situation, we have the NSA 10.